And I'm Nathan. This is the At Odd Show. Please listen.
Forget what you learned in school. Never mind what your parents told you, and disregard what your friends say. From now on, the only people you need to listen to are these guys. For the next several minutes, they'll take you on a journey through the political jungle. And when your journey is over and you're safe at home, they promise you'll be stronger, smarter, and just plain better. So buckle up, hang on to your ears, because your journey starts now.
In this present crisis, government is not the solution to our problem. Government is the problem.
Behold a republic, resting securely upon the mountain of eternal truth. A republic applying in practice and proclaiming to the world the self-evident propositions that all men are created equal, that they're endowed with inalienable rights, that governments are instituted among men to secure these rights, and that governments derive their just powers from the consent of the governed. Behold a republic in which civil and religious liberty stimulate all to earnest endeavor, and in which the law restrains every hand uplifted for a neighbor's injury. A republic in which every citizen is a sovereign, but in which no one cares to wear a crown.
Boy, good old days.
Yeah, brilliant words from a early, not really early, but a Democrat.
Yep, 1922 he made that speech.
Early by today's standards, because
never became president. Was Secretary of State.
Nobody seems to understand that there was history that happened before they were born.
The greatest orator of the time. That was William Jennings Bryan.
That's debatable, I think. I mean, he obviously was.
In today's dollars, he was making $1 million a year going around giving speeches.
Yeah, well, you know.
So, I mean, that's almost as good as Bill Clinton.
Going around giving speeches selling property.
Yeah, it was. It was in Florida.
And by property, I mean land property, I believe, because he was a Democrat.
Not humans trafficking.
Should clear that up.
Anyway, William Jennings Bryan, famous also. He ran for president 3 times, lost first time to McKinley.
He did serve in a hell of an administration, though.
Woodrow Wilson.
A very pro... it was Woodrow Wilson.
I think it was
Never
Woodrow
mind.
Wilson. He was Secretary of State.
One of the most racist communist presidents we've had.
Very progressive. Anyways, that's what the static was in there, I think. 1922 sound wasn't that great. But the sentiment there, wow, we don't have that today.
No.
The government is there to secure your rights, not take them away like they are now.
Definitely
Each
not.
individual was sovereign
from the president or any presidential candidate that we've had in recent history.
The Democratic Party came. The only, I don't know, personal opinion, I won't say that. He was also famous for being in the Scopes trials, which were the monkey trials, which were the evolutionary trials in 1924 or so, the Scopes trials. He was a staunch creationist and biblical scholar, and he didn't believe in evolution and challenged Clarence Darrow, another famous attorney at the time, in that court proceeding. He was also, which I didn't care for so much, a prohibitionist. You know, I like to have a cocktail once in a while.
I don't know why you would.
Yeah, I'm having a cocktail right now, and
actually, we'll be right back in about 10 seconds.
Yeah.
That's decent vodka.
It's familiar. Anyways, we wanted to play that because we liked the sentiment of his statement.
Yeah, you played it, and I was like, wow, it
speaks to you.
That must be
the
a Republican.
Yeah, libertarian Republican. Yeah,
I didn't think that at all.
You had no idea
I
who he
assumed,
was.
but you just you don't hear that stuff anymore.
No.
I mean,
Well, you do. You do hear it.
Rand
but
Paul,
you're called a tea partier, a tea bagger, and a terrorist.
Well, yeah. You don't hear it from candidates for
major
many,
political.
Yeah, not a presidential candidate in recent history that made it anywhere close to the end of the race.
And Brian was the father of the Stump campaign strategy. He was the one that started going around the country giving speeches on trains and stuff. Before that, candidates, it was considered bad form to go out and politic for yourself, And he gave like 500 different speeches across the country.
He was progressive.
He was very, very progressive, and still lost. Anyways, you wanted to talk about your favorite organization.
Well, I want to say you're listening to At Odds. Obviously, I'm Nate. That's Brian over there on the other side of the table.
We got to take care of that, too.
We are now...
It's Thursday.
In our new permanent home.
August 8th, 2013.
Yes, it is.
Our new studio.
Looking good. Here. It is looking pretty good.
Like it. The walls are painted nice. Well, some of the walls.
Yeah.
Got nice wood beams, which I really love. They're the log... supports, which is kind of nice.
I do the designers did the best they could.
The sump pump is nice in the corner. That's pretty nice.
Yeah, you can't see the sump pump, so I don't know.
I see it right there.
You don't.
Well, that's going to be our bathroom, at least for our tinkles.
Please don't, because that's actually the water supply coming in.
Is it?
Yeah. So,
oops. Well, you might want to flush the system before you take any drinks later. We've got our little knickknacks up on the wall. We've got our Declaration of Independence.
Yes, we
up,
do.
So
we do that. That was the first thing to come into the new studio. Actually, was the Declaration.
I got a nice lazy boy This chair beats Rush Limbaugh's chair by far. Except it's not leather, but still.
Yeah, right.
It's a nice cloth cover. It's a good Republican chair.
Yeah.
Do you know where that's from? Richard Nixon said that. I don't have a fancy dress like Kennedy's wife does. My wife has a nice cloth coat for a good Republican.
Yep.
That was a great quote.
Yeah. He's not a crook, though.
No.
Not anymore.
And we got our little bar set up. So we're in the Republic Barn studio in a large city. In what country, Nate?
Kenya.
I don't know if I can.
Kenya.
No, sure I can.
I figured Kenya was a good place to set up our new permanent studio.
Why?
It's a good...
We got our passports back.
We did. And that was a struggle.
Just in time.
It was a struggle. Just in time to leave the country.
Actually, it was more of a deportation.
Yeah, right.
I don't know that it was
Is this a passport? Well, you can call it a passport. It's one way, though.
It's your passport out of here.
We have asked for asylum in Russia. We have not heard back yet. And also, we just heard Brian is not allowed to participate in the Olympic Games in Russia.
Not now.
They didn't say why, but I don't know. A fairly new law that they passed in Russia. I don't know. I can't think of the reason.
You know what my sport was? I can't go into it. Anyways.
Wow.
Yeah, we lost those two listeners.
Yeah. Has Governor Snyder, the governor of Michigan, has he joined the Mayors Against Illegal Guns yet? Or
he's not
is
a mayor.
Still waiting for that?
He's not a mayor.
He's not the brightest cookie in the bunch.
So he might do it just thinking he's a mayor?
Yeah. No, I heard that.
He might think he's the mayor of Detroit.
No, I heard that question yesterday or the day before. Someone was talking about it because we were talking about these the story that I want to talk about, and someone was like, "How about Snyder?"
Is he a member?
No, but Virgin Monero,
he is.
Lansing definitely is a member.
Yeah,
definitely.
Probably a charter member.
Yeah, I'd imagine.
Anyways, we're a live talk show. You can call us at 248-455-ODDS, 248-455-6337. Mayors Against Illegal Guns. It sounds great, right? Aren't we all against illegal guns?
Well, who isn't?
Everyone's
who isn't against
for
illegal guns? And we've talked about this before, and the standard of what makes an illegal gun, I disagree with most of the time. But
sure.
I mean, who's not against people that break just laws, right? I mean, you have to be against that.
No, wait, what? Something said.
Yeah.
We have to be against unjust laws. We should be in support of
most
just
people.
laws.
Yeah, that's what I said. I just said it in
Did
a
you
way
say
that
it?
was apparently
Very confusing.
confusing
to me.
for you.
I couldn't get it.
The listeners got it, but I guess that's not what it.
They're
what's
much
important.
smarter than I am.
They are. We're seeing mayors drop out of this organization. This is a Bloomberg thing. Mayor Bloomberg.
Oh
in
yeah,
New York
they've lost
City.
like 50 or 60
mayors
mayors.
are dropping out because, well, like one said,
They were deceived.
I took the name literally. It says Mayors Against Illegal Guns, and now they're talking about these assault weapons and things.
Legal guns. They want to get rid of all guns.
Yeah, and that's not really what I signed up for.
And they spent a lot of money on smear campaigns.
And there was one mayor, the one that I really wanted to hit on. He signed a petition saying, yeah, I'm against illegal guns, and then later decided, well, they're not exactly only against illegal guns. They're against all freedom, basically. And I don't really support them anymore. But they had already taken his name without any permission, without asking him, and posted it on their website as a supporter.
He was a New York mayor in Walden, New York. I think,
Yes.
wasn't
And he says, yeah, how about you go ahead and take my name off there? And he couldn't get a response because they don't want you to be able to contact them because
he? Well, they want
people
the
would
names
call
on
with-
there too.
with
The more
logical,
names,
right? Exactly. He finally got a hold of them. They attempted to pay him via promised campaign contributions and votes to leave his name on there. So they offered him a payoff. It's
And that
what
really
it's a de
soured
facto
him.
payoff.
Yeah, that really sounds.
Yeah, and then he definitely said, no, this definitely is not an organization that I want to be part of. You know, I mean, I might have these crazy progressive ideas, and I might pretend like I'm pro-gun now, even though I'm not. But I don't want to be part of an organization that's, first of all, against all personal liberties. Second of all, going to pay me with whatever it is you pay me with, you're going to pay me to stay, to keep my name on your website just so it looks like you have more support. Your website that's hosted on New York City government servers. Tax money. So I think some mayors are waking up, and it is campaign time for a lot of mayors. A lot of elections this year, next year. So you have to be careful. You know, you start to
Read the fine print.
When you hear every one of these mayors saying, "Well, you know, I used to be against concealed pistol licenses, but now I think I might get my own." You really want to be careful and talk to them and see if that's actually the truth, or if that's just their campaign rhetoric.
Rhetoric, yeah.
Which it is most of the time.
Is it campaign time? Is it election time?
Sure, it's always.
Somewhere.
Barack Obama's been campaigning for 10 years. He hasn't stopped campaigning. He's campaigning right now. I mean,
He really
is campaigning right now.
And we'll get into it a little bit.
And I'm not even sure he would.
I don't know if he's running again. I don't know. You think he might run for another term?
I don't think he'll have to.
God, that's
I
scary
mean,
thought.
why would he hold an election? I mean, what's
he doesn't
the point?
really. He could just declare it.
Take the guys off and just go with it.
I'm really not happy with our country anymore. You know, I used to love it. I mean, I still love the principles, but boy, it's not the America.
Oh,
I grew up
I know what you're saying. I still love the country. I'm still proud to be here, and I don't plan on going anywhere anytime soon. As soon as they
We're in Kenya.
As soon as they let me back in from Kenya.
I don't think we're going anywhere. As a matter of fact, after this, I think there are some people here that are going to take us down into a dungeon or basement or what do you call it? A penthouse inverse? The inverse of a penthouse. Yeah. Don't worry. It's soap you'll be needing. No,
that's what they talk like in Kenya, huh?
The Jewish ones do.
Because speaking of Kenya, I'm going to skip a little bit here.
Oh, you're throwing me off. Where are we?
We're at the President of the United States, the current President of the United States, going on Jay Leno, a late-night comedy show.
Yeah, at 11:30 at night, so everybody can watch it.
The first time he's talked about, you know, all those embassies we closed. Have you heard about that?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
Generally, presidents don't go on a late-night comedy show.
It's wagging the dog, I think.
To talk about...
Or wagging the tail, I mean.
Yeah, to talk...
Wow.
To talk about something as serious as national security. They usually, maybe they will go on that show. It's happened in the past.
They might have a prime time, presentation.
A press conference,
Yeah.
or just give a speech
During the day.
Come out and say,
Yeah.
"I'm the president. I'm in charge of this, and
This
we're
is
closing
why we
embassies
did this.
because
of
there's
this,
a threat."
this, and this, yeah.
Now,
It makes light of it on
that's
the Tonight Show.
overlooking the fact that it looks pretty convenient that the NSA surveillance helped us get that security, so it's good stuff.
It's perfect.
It's good stuff.
That's why we're doing it. That's why we're screwing your civil liberties over, is because we can close embassies. Where were they with Benghazi? If it worked so well, if the NSA was doing such a great job.
Yep. No, where were they? I don't know.
If their intelligence was so good and doing such, I don't think it changed much in the last 4 months or 5 months, or whenever Benghazi was to when it broke.
The thing that got me, and this is kind of old, but the intelligence that we kept hearing over and over from Jay Carney and from all of the cool, anchors on CNN, MSNBC, and all that, saying this is the most specific threat that we have gotten since 9/11. It's the most specific threat.
Wait a minute, that was a cluster F.
What was?
Go ahead. Well, the information for 9/11.
Well, I mean time frame wise, not
No, I don't know what you mean.
since September 11th, 2001.
Yeah.
Since that date, not the intelligence from that date. Since that date, I think was.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay.
Yeah. So okay.
This is the most significant.
No,
threat
this is so specific, such a specific
I
threat.
see.
We don't know when it's going to happen or where it's going to happen.
Or by who? Or
But it was the actual right. The actual quote I heard is very specific in the enormity of the event that might take place. So the intelligence.
So we know that there's going to be an event
it's going-
somewhere
it is going to
in
be
the
big.
universe.
It is going to be big, but we don't know where.
Whatever it is, it's big.
Yeah, and
Shh! Don't ask too many questions.
well, I'm wondering if closing the embassies, if that was a real step, or if that's kind of a smoke shield.
I think
because
it's-
don't you think that
Wagging the dog's tail.
don't you think that pushes the focus maybe on something in the U.S. since all these embassies are closed and we can't go there? Then why not focus on New York City again?
Well, I mean, people have talked about that could have been a diversion for some operation that might be taking place in the United States.
Well, absolutely.
But
and if it isn't,
NSA is listening to everything. They cannot let that slip. If they screw up now, knowing that we know that they know everything that we're doing,
do you think Al
and
Qaeda
something
really
happens-
uses email?
yeah, I think they do.
To,
Yeah, of
hey,
course they
Bob,
do.
I'm going to attack the United States.
I don't think they'd say it like that. I think it's more like this. No, of course they use. They use social media. They use newspapers. They use all that stuff. Sure.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Do you think they'll do it
Hey,
again?
Bob.
Now that they know that
The jig is up.
now that
NSA is listening.
Now that they know that we can find their emails.
Yeah, they stopped. We have no more threats at all.
Now, if you didn't think that foreign policy was bad enough from our president, let's listen a little bit to what he said on Jay Leno. He was talking about the Panama Canal and
That's timely.
the Gulf.
I guess they are doing some work there, but
If we don't deepen our ports all along the Gulf, places like Charleston, South Carolina, or Savannah, Georgia, or Jacksonville, Florida, if we don't do that, those ships are going to go someplace else.
Now, I don't know if you've looked at a map. Brian.
I have. I'm familiar with all of those places.
Three cities, those port areas that he just mentioned,
Right on the Gulf.
are on the East Coast.
What?
Well, now I will tell you, give him the benefit of the doubt. He did not say which Gulf.
Well, they're all sort of
I mean,
related.
maybe it's the Gulf of the East.
No. All the oceans are somewhat interconnected. So he could have been talking about San Francisco, and technically that's part of the Gulf.
Your point that you made before the show, at least he didn't say Lansing, Michigan,
Yeah, or Des Moines, Iowa.
or the South Dakota Canadian border,
Right.
or something like that. I mean, these places might have ports, but they're
They
not.
do have ports.
They're not in the Gulf of Mexico.
They're on the Atlantic coast.
They are.
And ships may indeed stop going there because they may realize that we have Obama for a president.
And that they
So
were
they might-
actually aiming for the Gulf of Mexico.
No, they're just going to say, God, we don't want to go there anymore.
Yeah, I don't blame him.
If they're that bad.
No, that's not the end of his stupidity, because that's what it is.
No, it's just the beginning.
and that's not even so bad. And then
Worst president ever.
And then there was the Summer Olympics, the sports from the Summer Olympics that
in Russia.
In Russia that during the Winter Olympics. Things like swimming in Russia.
Gymnastics
in Russia, although that's indoor.
The shot put.
Yeah, I would think so. High jump.
The javelin. The javelin throw.
The vodka drinking.
Ooh, don't mind if I do.
We could win that one, I think. He went to Camp Pendleton to talk about.
Well, no.
Well, okay, go ahead.
Okay, so I'm talking about the geography here again.
Oh, go ahead.
Now,
because
you could forgive him. You could
ago or anything.
Well, you could what? Wow, time goes by.
Yeah.
You could forgive him, and you could say, "All right, it was a slip of the tongue." I mean, these are port cities. They just happen to be hundreds and hundreds of miles away from the Gulf. But was it the first time he said this?
No, it wasn't the first time he said this.
Really?
Yeah, he gave a speech earlier, and I saw it on C-SPAN, and he said the exact same thing.
He was talking about the Gulf, and
the
he
Gulf
mentioned those
ports,
cities again.
and he mentioned two of those same cities.
I have a suggestion. Get a map.
Get a better speechwriter. Something.
Get a geography.
How many?
Hire an intern that has a degree in geography.
How many?
At least U.S. geography.
How many times in that speech did he?
Oh, Mr. President, I just want to make a correction here. I do have a geography degree, and those cities you mentioned, they're on the Atlantic, and the Gulf is it's in the Gulf. And I don't want to bother you, Your Majesty, but you just might want to change that around.
What was that William Jennings Bryan saying? Nobody that wanted to wear
a crown. Yeah, those days are over.
Because
we have somebody that wants to wear a crown.
I think our president would love to wear a crown, and I don't think he likes being corrected.
No, that's what I'm saying. That intern no longer exists.
Now, I do want to. I want to point out what happens when his teleprompter freezes, and he no longer has the words to read during a speech. This was at Camp Pendleton. This
was recent.
Yeah, and he was there praising joining forces, which Michelle Obama and who was that? Somebody. Obama will let us know who it was.
Yeah. Michelle and Vice President, the Joe Biden's wife, Dr. Joe Biden.
Whatever her name
They
is.
made this their mission.
Yes. Joe Biden's wife? What would Joe Biden?
It's a tough job, but you should at least know.
It is a tough job, but
name of the wife of your vice president.
Come on, do you remember Corpsman? Do you remember that? He gave a speech early on, and he said Corpsman more than once. And the real problem is it's not these mistakes, because Lord knows George Bush made some gaffes. Sarah Palin made some gaffes. But we were sold this guy as being the most educated, the smartest man anywhere.
A scholar.
A college professor.
A gentleman and a scholar.
Smarter than any other man. So smart that he'll give you a tingle up your leg.
Yes.
When he talks. And I just don't think that's the case.
He's, I think, quite ignorant about a lot of things.
I want to remind you to check out our book, My Parents Open Carry. Head over to myparentsopencarry.com.
And don't we have a winner?
We do have a winner. We did a drawing last week, and it is Terry from Michigan. I've contacted Terry, and we'll be sending the book out shortly. And I think it went pretty well.
We got more hits and likes on our Facebook page. I think we're going to do something again. We might have some gift cards or something coming up in a future.
Yeah, I think so.
So,
if
you don't like our book, you can't turn down free
cash. You get a gift card, and you can spend it anywhere you want as long as it's listed on the gift card.
No, I think it's Walmart and Starbucks and
gift card to myparentsopencarry.com.
Yeah,
for half the retail price.
half price on our book.
No, myparentsopencarry.com. You can get a copy if you are not Terry and one.
Well, he can if he wants,
and he could also buy several.
Yeah.
And he mentioned he'd like to read it and possibly donate it to a library, which would be great.
That would be cool.
Very cool.
Especially a school library.
Yes. But we're going to take a quick break. Remember, 248-455-ODDS, 248-455-6337.
Oi! You're listening to the At Odd Show with Nate and Brian. And may you be in heaven a half an hour before the devil knows you're dead.
The voice of American conservatism. WRS Digital, Red State Talk Radio.
Fact. U.S. credit card debt is 8 times larger than it was 30 years ago. No wonder you and I are feeling the credit card crunch. You're not alone. Increasing prices and the costs of credit are stretching budgets and preventing people just like us from getting ahead or just catching up with our debts. At American Financial Debt Relief, we can help. We have tested ways to help you get out of debt. Find out how now. The call is free to learn more. If you qualify, we can reduce your interest, show you how to stop your debt from getting larger, and help you get out of debt faster than you can by making minimum payments. So if you're falling behind on your credit cards or medical bills, give us a call right now, where a free 5-minute call can change your life.
800-978-4815. 800-978-4815. Reduce your credit card debt. Call now. 800-978-4815. 800-978-4815.
Real radio for real Americans.
Red State Talk Radio.
Obama wants your money, and he's determined to get it. He wants your money to buy off unions, his Wall Street cronies, and to expand the Obama welfare nation. Well, Swiss America is determined to stop him from stealing your money. They want to send you an award-winning film, I Want Your Money, on DVD that exposes his plan. It'll help keep the government's hands off your money using gold, silver, and other hard asset strategies to protect your hard-earned money. Call today and request the DVD, I Want Your Money, normally $19.95, yours absolutely free. Let Swiss America show you how to use gold, silver, and other hard assets to protect your hard-earned money. Call now. 800-932-5146. 800-932-5146. Call Swiss America right now. Learn all about investing in gold. 800-932-5146. 800-932-5146. Call now.
I hear that a grand jury has indicted 2 students from Kazakhstan on obstruction of justice charges for helping the Boston bombing suspect hide evidence. Have you heard about that? I don't know much about it.
I did hear about it. I don't know much
about it.
That
was just
either.
today.
Yeah. So they've, however much longer, they've gotten around to pressing charges on a couple more people. Oh, the other good news on top of this, since we're talking about terrorists,
I wasn't.
Obama still campaigning.
Yeah, we discussed this. Running for dictator.
Yeah, I just thought it fit. No. They have finally gotten around to officially issuing charges for the attacks in Benghazi.
I hadn't heard that. What's that?
And I don't have it in front of me. I just remembered, but yeah, they pressed charges. The attack. Killed 4 Americans, and the president doesn't care. We don't know where he was.
Right, it's a phony.
We don't know what happened.
Issue.
They were running guns to Turkey. We talked about this before, or through Turkey.
And now there's something come out saying that the
they've
CIA
pressed
agents against the CIA agents.
No, against terrorists. No, because they had a suspect. They had the main suspect in this whole thing, but they claimed they couldn't find him. CNN walked up to him at a cafe and did an hour-long interview with him, and he said, No, Americans have come to talk to me.
I've been right here having coffee every day.
Yeah. We droned a couple.
No big deal.
We droned a couple coffee stands in Yemen recently.
They seem to miss me. I've been sitting right here. I'm not hiding.
That's the thing. We killed an American with a drone and his son at a cafe.
Well, they killed 13 Yemens.
Yeah.
Today, I think.
Yeah, but they're terrorists, right?
Right. They're just
Every
Yemens.
one of them.
Yeah.
No, but we killed an American citizen and his son with a drone at a coffee shop. But these people, who were pretty damn sure, killed 4 of us and attacked our consulate, and we can't even talk to them?
What's
Are you
worse
kidding
is
me?
There's something leaking about the 25 CIA agents were on the ground there.
Yeah,
And
way more than
told,
we thought.
And they've been told not to talk to anybody, and they've been given lie detector tests every 3 months to see if they've talked to anybody.
Yeah, which is
because
a pain.
They know things.
Well, why would they be there if it wasn't gun running?
Of course it was.
Or something else nefarious, and I think it was gun running.
But the Obama, supporters, they just don't believe that. They just don't. It's not happening. And if it did happen, it had to be for the good of the country.
Or Bush did it.
That was a Bush program.
The administration would never run guns illegally to any other foreign country like Mexico. They wouldn't do that.
Oh, wait a minute. That's Fast and Furious.
Oh, yeah,
scandal.
that actually happened.
Yeah, that's a phony.
That actually
phony
happened.
scandal
It's
too.
Phony.
Yeah. We had actually American citizens killed there too, border agents and DEA agents.
Not to mention all of the Mexicans
And
that are probably
several Mexicans
still being murdered with those weapons.
And will continue to be murdered. Yeah, that's a shame. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well,
I think it's time to wake up, actually pay attention to something in your life, and think before you go to the voting booth and check a box.
Right. Or get involved in politics locally, because all politics begins at the local level.
Well, they can and should. They should.
Like you're trying to get involved in your local politics, but they know you. That's the problem.
Yeah, they don't.
They're like, oh, we've lost your application again.
The folks at the city are very nice people.
Yes, they are. Very
I love them all.
Oh, they don't listen to the show. You're not using the original name.
They. I'm not.
No. I'm trying to get
You're right. I'm that poor schmuck with the name that I'm using.
Yeah, he's dead meat. He's in a prison somewhere in Kenya.
Oh, why are we here then? That doesn't make any sense. Oh,
Lord. Let's move on. Politically correct. What do you think of? I think of war on words. Doublespeak. Words mean things.
I think that's
words
the definition almost.
Words are powerful. They mean things. They can incite. They can move. They can urge to action. They can make you cry. They can make you laugh. It is what we are. Words are everything.
So I contend that we should only use the ones that give you warm, fuzzy feelings.
Yes.
And that offend zero people.
Which, it's hard to find a word that wouldn't offend somebody.
That's offensive.
Even that.
Exactly. Is offensive.
Well, the New York City Department of Education, yes, they have a Department of Education, wants to forbid 50 words from standardized tests in the city.
Now,
their suggestions.
New York City might be a more appropriate place to have a Department of Education.
I'm not following.
Okay, we have a federal Department of Education. We have state Department of Educations. The city level is much more appropriate than
I
the
see what
federal
you're
level.
saying. Well, yeah.
So I don't necessarily
besmirch them.
I don't agree with it, but I don't necessarily think that it's a bad thing that the people in New York City have decided that they would like a Board of Education.
Okay. I think I can agree with that. Yeah, we're not at odds with that. But I'm going to go through these words, at least some of them, and I don't know that you've looked at them, but
I've looked at every one of them.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't believe that.
Yeah, I have.
Have you really?
Yes. Like houses with swimming pools?
No. How about this? Constantinople. Did you see that one?
It's because it's Istanbul. Stop
it. There you go. Very good. All right, we'll go through. They're afraid that some of these words are going to upset the kids.
Well, some of them are offensive, like birthday.
And we don't want to do that because they're, well, for instance, dinosaur. You can't use dinosaur in any of these standardized tests because there's people that believe in creationism, and dinosaur is a sore spot. Or Halloween, because Jehovah's Witnesses don't believe in that. That's a pagan holiday, so we can't use Halloween.
Yeah, birthday, same thing. Jehovah's Witnesses,
because some people
don't have birthdays.
Yeah, that's true. Poverty, because some
they have
people,
no problem knocking on your door and annoying the hell out of you on
Saturday morning.
afternoon.
Yeah, or morning. Yeah.
They come to your house in the morning.
Word
they come here in the
poverty,
afternoon.
because there might be some people that are poor, and that would offend them.
By the way, every time Jehovah's Witness comes to my door, I tell them, you're bothering me on my birthday. Stop it. And they don't leave.
And that's a good one. They don't get it because they're ignorant about their own religion. But anyways, divorce?
No, I had...
Oh, geez.
Yeah. I had... we get Mormons around here more than Jehovah's Witnesses.
I usually say I'm a Satanist.
They they run away.
They run away like fast.
No, they showed up and they tried to give me this book, right? The book.
The Watchtower.
Yes. And they said, well, what we believe is everything in this book is true, or it's not true.
They said that to you?
Yep. And I said, yeah, I agree with you.
Okay.
How do you sell me something by saying it's either right or it's not right?
Right.
Those are the only choices.
And but both those statements, or that statement, is true.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But so
it can't be partly unique.
I said, yeah, I've read it.
Know all about it. I've read the Bible.
Yeah.
That's why I don't believe in anything.
You don't see me out here on Saturdays? It's weird. We don't
I just
cross
passed
paths.
you. I just passed you. The movie Footloose, they banned dancing. Yep. The word dancing's taboo. They allowed ballet, though, because I guess that has a good connotation. All right, here we go. All right, these are the words. Abuse, alcohol, tobacco, birthday, bodily functions, cancer, catastrophe, celebrities, computers in the home, because not everybody has a computer in the home, crime, death, disease, all things about life, divorce, evolution, expensive gifts, vacations and prizes, because some people don't have vacations and prizes and expensive gifts, gambling involving money, because daddy or mommy might have a gambling problem, homelessness, because some of them might be homeless, homes with swimming pools, because, not everybody can have a swimming pool.
Yeah, not everybody can have
Hunting.
an aquatic death trap in their backyard.
That's right. Hunting. Really? Junk food? Can't talk about that. Can't talk about sports, because not everybody is hip on sports. Loss of employment. Mommy or daddy doesn't have a job.
Well, that's very relevant now.
Nuclear weapons.
Nuclear.
Yeah.
Nuclear weapons.
It's nuclear. Occult topics, fortune-telling. I agree with that. Politics, pornography, poverty, rap music,
Why do you
religion,
agree with that?
religious holidays, and festivals. What? Fortune-telling?
Yeah, why do you agree with any of
occult?
this? I don't.
Well,
Why can't you have a story problem that says Freddie the fortune teller told fortunes for 30 cents a minute? He told 40-minute long fortunes. How much money did Freddie the fortune teller make? And is Freddie the fortune teller a fake?
And unfortunately, the IRS found out about Freddie not claiming all of
on
his
Halloween during his birthday when he was abusing sexual alcohol.
Religious holidays, you can't talk about them except for Christmas, Yom Kippur, and Ramadan. Rock and roll music. It's the devil's music. Running away, sex, slavery, terrorism, television, video games, traumatic material, vermin, rats, and roaches, violence, war, bloodshed, weapons, guns, knives, etc., witchcraft, and sorcery.
Yeah, before you incite a riot, it is not except Christmas, Yom Kippur, and Ramadan. It is including those. Those are also forbidden.
Oh, wait a minute. Really?
So, yes.
Holidays and festivals, inclling but not limited to.
Yeah.
Oh,
so,
yeah. Okay, I'm sorry. You're right.
A riot. I heard it.
Holy
I heard
smokes.
a riot break out
outside the door. Yeah.
So,
well, those Kenyans are very.
You can still talk about Yom Kippur.
No, you can't.
Or you can't. I mean,
right? Or Christmas. Or
now
Ramadan.
the other side's rioting. Damn it! Oh, you can't ever make anybody happy with these public programs.
It's a good thing we're drunk with guns. All right.
That is not true.
Half of that's not true.
Right.
We have guns. Okay, breaking news. Marine vet allowed to keep his guns in his home.
Ooh. I wouldn't have seen that coming.
Did you hear about that?
Yeah, I did. And, I mean, you would think that somebody that goes overseas, just in general, I'm not talking about this specific case, somebody that fights for your freedom and my freedom with a gun would be allowed to have their firearms.
What do you know?
Not much.
Oakwood Apartments in Castle Rock. I don't know where exactly that is.
Castle Rock. It's next to Fraggle Rock.
Fraggle Rock. And
near Plymouth.
It had a policy change saying that people that were in their housing, their apartments, had to give up their guns or move. The problem is, this might have been Pennsylvania or something. I don't know.
I think it was.
I think it's a place that had preemption. The problem is that the apartments are owned by the federal and state government.
Yep.
It's public housing.
Yep. And there's the problem.
And they can't do that. And apparently, it was a management company, Ross Management, that implemented the changes without consulting the owners, which was the county and the state.
Which were the people that lived there?
Yeah, basically. Without consulting them, they just came out and said, no guns. And boy, was the county housing authority really upset. And they said, we do not encourage the infringement upon the Second Amendment rights of our tenants. And we had nothing to do with this thing. And the management company was quite upset. They didn't even answer any inquiries from the press. And they were angry over the complex decision to allow guns in their own property. They're just the managers. They're the hired people to run the place.
These morons that want to ban firearms in multiple family housing situations are almost as dumb as the ignorant people that ban pit bulls from these places. It's just frustrating. Absolutely frustrating. But
it's ignorant. It's ignorance, man. It's ignorance.
This brought up a interesting discussion. Had this not been owned... Well, on Facebook, where all interesting
a social network discussion.
If this had not been owned by the government,
privately owned,
should a landlord still be able?
We've had that discussion for a long time. I mean, it depends on your point of view.
Sure.
Same with stores. I mean, you could say the same thing with stores that are privately owned. Can they ban firearms? Well, right now they can. Can they ban a black person? No, they can't, because those are protected classes under federal law. They have to allow those people.
Is really interesting.
So they can infringe on your Bill of Rights in some places, but not in other places. And the dilemma is, as a libertarian, as a free private property rights person, you would say, I can ban whoever I want from my property.
Absolutely.
Including blacks or Jews or Christians or Muslims
or
whites, whoever. Or
absolutely.
People that wear green shirts. That would be their right. Well, the federal government says, no, that's not. There's certain protected things that you can't do. Like, smoking.
And some people's take would be that the market would handle that.
Right.
Because we're in a place where if a business did not allow blacks or Jews or whatever, another business would pop up across the street and cater to the people that weren't allowed there.
And that person would make money.
Likely, the company that didn't allow blacks or any group of people would be ran out of town and wouldn't be in business very long.
Right.
That's the cool thing about the free market, is that you actually can vote with your dollar, and it's not like GM, where people weren't buying GM cars because nobody wanted a Chevy Volt and all the garbage that they've been putting out lately, and they're going under, and then the government props them up. And then what happened to Detroit? Because the president said that he will not let Detroit go bankrupt. And in fact, he said that he bailed them out, and Detroit was doing much better. And is Detroit... They didn't go... What happened?
They went
bankrupt now?
Well, they're trying.
They're trying to.
Yeah.
But I don't know. We have a lot more to talk about. Again, Facebook.com/AdOddsShow. Of course, you're listening on Ad Odd Show right now. And
they are.
This weekend and tomorrow, you'll listen on Red State Talk Radio. So I appreciate that. We will be right back.
Hello, my name is Don. After you reboot your computer, you should listen to the Ad Odd Show.
Red State Talk Radio.
The idea of government taking over healthcare is enough to make you sick.
The conservative voice.
I will never forget the day my son Jeremy told me he hated me and slammed the door in my face. I'm behavioral therapist Janet Lehman. Behavior problems can turn the child you love and your life into a nightmare. That's why my husband James and I created the Total Transformation, the step-by-step program that shows you how to fix the worst behavior problems and get your child to respect and listen to you again. No matter what the behavior, defiance, backtalk, angry outbursts, disrespect, we can help you stop it. Now you can get the Total Transformation for free. All you need to do is get the program and let us know how it works for you. You can keep it forever for free.
Limited number of free programs available. Call now. 1-800-257-2873. 1-800-257-2873. 1-800-257-2873. That's 1-800-257-2873.
When it comes to TV, if you can't see the difference, why pay the difference? Switch to Dish for the best value in entertainment. Not only will you find the same channels you know and love for less, Dish sweetens the deal with free HD for life and premium movie channels free for 3 months, including Blockbuster at home. You can also save a bundle when you combine DishNet high-speed internet with your TV service. Why would you ever pay more for TV? Switch to Dish and see what real value is. Free HD for life, premium channels free for 3 months, scores of movies with Blockbuster at home, premium savings when you bundle DishNet high-speed internet service. Limited time offer, 24-month agreement with credit qualification required. Cancellation fee, auto pay, and paperless billing and other restrictions apply. Call for details.
Call Dish Satellite, your Dish authorized retailer now. 800-507-9468. 800-507-9468. 800-507-9468. That's 800-507-9468.
Red State Talk Radio.
Why spend more than you have to on your life insurance? Did you know that term life insurance rates have fallen over 60% in the last 15 years? At the Life Insurance Quote Line, we monitor the rates, features, and financial strength of hundreds of life insurance products. For example, a healthy 40-year-old can protect his family with $500,000 of 10-year level term for less than $20 a month. Rates for women are even lower. And don't forget to ask us about the new term life policies that guarantee your money back even if you don't die. Since 1986, we've helped tens of thousands of people just like you save a fortune on their life insurance. Why not find out how much you can save? Write down this number and call today for your free quote. 1 5-minute call is all it takes. Call 800-610-3497. 800-610-3497. That's 800-610-3497. Rates, policy forms, and availability vary by state.
Collecting rainwater now illegal in many states as big government claims ownership over the water. I can kind of see their point.
It's illegal to collect rainwater in some states, and then in other places they're trying to tax people for having rainwater.
Impermeable surfaces.
Yeah, because of the rainwater.
Right.
Now, my thought is, if the government owns the rainwater, get it the hell off of my property.
Ooh, imagine lawsuit.
Yeah.
Put a big tent over your house. That's what they'll do, like Simpsons
the
episode.
Simpsons, the movie. The
Screw
Simpsons
you.
Movie.
We'll just yeah, that's what'll happen. They'd put a big tent over you.
That's fine.
You wouldn't know what time of day it was. It'd be night all the time.
That's fine.
Your light bill would go through the roof.
Look, I don't think anybody owns the rainwater.
No.
It definitely, if somebody does, it's not the government. I think you go by the finders keepers rule. If I find the rainwater on my property, it is now my
that's
water.
That's often has been the tradition of water rights. If you own the property where the water is, you own the water rights. Now, the issue that came in the last 70 years or so is that water use has gone way up. So if you owned a stream that went through your property and you diverted that water for your cattle or your sheep or whatever, the people downstream couldn't use that water anymore, so the government had to come in and regulate that.
No, they didn't.
Well, I mean,
no.
that's... Yeah. Well, what do you do?
Don't get caught in that, because no, they didn't.
Okay. Civil lawsuit?
Maybe.
Who gets the right to that water?
Yeah, good question. Not something that we necessarily need the government to come in.
I don't know.
Because, the government cannot make the decision better than those two people who own the property can, because the government is those people.
I suppose, but I think in the old days, one person would go and shoot the other person. Problem solved.
It worked out pretty well.
Oh, did it? Okay. Well, I mean, that depends on your point of view.
Look, the thought that the government can make these so-called big decisions better than individuals is it's flawed.
I don't
absolutely
know that
flawed.
they can make it better, but
if they are not,
stepped in
if
because
they're
I guess
not
they felt
the
it wasn't.
best to make the decision, why would they be making these decisions?
It's not an easy decision.
Right.
It's tough.
But I think the government is the last person that should be picked.
Yeah.
Person, whatever. Thing, entity.
Well, I think you'd
Group
be
of
different.
morons.
I think you'd feel differently if you were the fifth person downstream from the dry bed.
I own
creek
guns
bed now. Yeah, and they own bigger ones.
I own shovels.
And what you would do then as an entrepreneur is you would go up into the base of the mountain where the stream started and buy all that property and divert all the water there.
And then they wouldn't get any.
Then the issue would be solved. There would be no water for those ranches. Same thing with the rainwater. The problem is they want it to percolate into the ground and replenish the aquifers in areas where water is an issue.
To quell global warming.
And I don't know. I don't think it has anything to do with global warming. Places like Michigan, where we have an abundance of fresh water, it's not an issue.
Yeah.
Out west, it's a big issue. They're saying let the rainwater go. You can't collect it. On the other hand, I feel that if it's running off of my roof and I want to collect it and use it, why can't I do that? I don't know. I mean, they used to, remember? The old days, the rain barrel, that was a big source of water.
Yeah, absolutely. And obviously places still do. I mean,
oh yeah.
People have big basins in their basements.
Especially now, the big thing, the thing I think is an issue also is you get a lot of the survivalists and the people that are off the grid that are collecting the water.
But we don't want that.
We don't want that.
We
I mean, when they are trying to regulate how much food you can buy in your home and keep in your house.
Yep.
That's an issue.
Like if the NSA can't track it, you shouldn't be doing it.
Right, and they can't track water. NSA isn't that good.
You think?
Yet.
Google is.
What?
Nothing. I said too much.
Is it starting to rain?
Brian, I love pizza. I love pepper.
But
I love pepper on my pizza.
Do you like pepper sprayed pizza?
No, I don't. It turns out.
Orange County deputy, traffic stop, teenagers. I don't know what possessed him. I don't know what possessed him to do this.
Power.
But during the stop, unbeknownst to the teenagers, the 30-year-old deputy pepper sprayed their pizza in the back seat.
Yeah.
And didn't tell them.
While he was searching their car for whatever reason.
Yeah. And I'm sure they allowed him the search, which...
I'm sure they did.
That's exactly. They intimidated the kids, and you know that you have a right to refuse a search. And I don't know why. I don't know if the kids were smart asses or what. Doesn't really matter.
It doesn't matter.
No, it doesn't. And he pepper sprayed it. It didn't tell them. So they go home and they're munching down, and boy, 5 or 6 of the kids are like,
and then I
don't feel so good. I'm sick. I don't know
what's going on. They're now suing Hungry Howie's.
No, they're not. Apparently, the authorities have charged the deputy with a misdemeanor count of assault or battery by a public officer. He faces a maximum sentence of 1 year in jail.
Yeah. Good. I mean, come on. You could probably kill somebody with that.
You could have.
I would imagine.
Yeah, I think so. They could have got anaphylactic shock.
And it doesn't matter whether it killed them or not, or even if they got sick, it doesn't matter.
Of an officer. You really don't want your law enforcement officers to be that kind of dickish person.
Not to mention, I assume it was the police department's pepper spray. So there's some tax money
maybe
involved there.
Unauthorized use of pepper spray.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Anyways.
What a jerk.
You really want to talk about this in our last few minutes.
I don't really want to, but I think
Gas company bans 7-year-old and 10-year-old kids from discussing fracking for the rest of their lives.
Yep, and that's a really misleading headline because kind of that's not what happened. The family with the 7 and 10-year-old children agreed to have their 7 and 10-year-old children not be allowed to talk about this for the rest of their lives.
You know what? You pay me. They got $750,000. You pay me $750,000. You tell me what not to talk about for the rest of my life. I'll do it.
So what happened is,
but these are minors.
This energy company was fracking in an area,
Pennsylvania, Mount Pleasant.
This family got sick, blamed it on the fracking because if there's something going on in your area and you get sick, obviously that's the cause. Because
fracking.
We know correlation is as strong, or
causation.
Yeah, correlation is causation, and we know that from
not
science.
Not science.
No,
so it's actually contraindicated with science. It's not necessarily true.
So they sued.
Well, and of course, oil companies are going to settle. They're not.
It's cheaper. It's easier. They get it over with.
Bad publicity and all that.
They can stop people from talking about this because of the bad publicity, which they're getting now, which is interesting.
They suffered headaches, earaches, burning eyes, sore throats.
Just general life in Pennsylvania.
I have that right now.
Yeah.
Could be the Kenyan air.
I think it is.
Anyways,
Obama
I don't know how you
always
can.
has itchy eyes.
I don't know how you can put a restraining order on a 7 and 10-year-old and make it count.
A gag
or
order.
Stick a gag
yeah, sure.
Order.
Yeah, I don't think you necessarily can. But the problem with this is that it was written up in such a way that says this gas company is evil. Fracking made this family sick, and they're forcing this 7 and 10-year-old to not talk about this. Well, what happened is the gas company created a settlement and said, we'll give you $750,000. Here's a gag order for your family. You are not allowed to talk about this.
They also had to agree that the fracking did not cause any health problems.
See, so really, the gas company isn't liable for anything because the family admitted that the fracking did not cause their health problems. And the family, the very irresponsible parents of these children, signed an order that affects their children. Now, if you're going to blame somebody, blame the parents.
Certainly.
Absolutely. They took the money, and now I think their lawyer's out complaining about it because it gets his name out there, and I took on a big oil company, and they settled. Well, I mean, we see these stories over and over again, and we had a guest. We should have him back to talk about this, but we had a guest on that
wrote a book on fracking.
Yeah, fracking
in Pennsylvania.
Yep. And that was his thing, is that the gas companies are taking all the trailer parks out and making people move and getting everybody sick. There's no evidence of any of this at all. But the oil and gas companies settle because it's easier, it's cheaper, they don't waste their time, it's not drawn out. They know that the media isn't going to cover these any of the litigation fairly. So it's just easier for them, it's better for them
cheaper,
to just settle, and that's what they do.
Make it go away. That doesn't sound right either.
No, that's not. The point of any business is to make money, and any bad publicity in something as controversial as fracking, you want to get rid of it. That's what that's what it's about. There's nothing wrong with that if they're acting responsibly, which I think the majority of these companies are. And in fact, there's so much government oversight that how can they not?
Yeah.
I really don't know. I don't know. I do think we're out of time, though.
Yeah, we're getting
I want to thank everybody for listening to At Odds. Remember, atoddshow.com. Like us on Facebook, facebook.com/atoddshow.
And I think next week we'll have another contest.
We'll have another contest. So if you like us now, you will be entered. But we'll
everybody
hash out
who
the
likes
details,
us
and
will
we'll
be
let you
entered.
know. We'll let you know next week.
Yep. We want to thank you for listening. And
see you next week.
Bye-bye.